Hey, what's going on? Squatch with Shy South Customs, doing a quick do-it-yourself video on, where's the box? There it is. Kuryakyn High 5 Mach 2 air cleaner. So the reason why I'm doing this, I was actually looking on YouTube and whatnot, and you can't really seem to find a decent video on how to install these. And on top of that, Kuryakyn in this particular box didn't supply directions on how to do it. I'm sure there's directions out there, but I figured I just wanted to do this video and kind of show you guys how to install it. So as you can see, I've already taken off the stock air cleaner. Everything's off. So for starters, where I would like to start off is the supplied breather bolts that they give you for the heads here and here. They give you little thin washers and all that, and then normally with the stock air cleaner there's a big black bracket that goes across. In this case there wasn't one here, so what I did is I actually grabbed some thick washers and put back there to mimic it. So let's go ahead and install these. No Loctite or anything needed. So, and as you can see, it's got a little hex on the outside. That size is going to be a 7/16. Either one, you could use a wrench, or two, you could use a deep well socket. In my case, I'm going to use a deep well socket to tighten them down. Now, don't don't do it like Hercules. Just kind of snug them down, just so you know they're on and tight. So from there, inside the kit, you are going to see this big chrome plate here. So you install the breathers with the nipples. What we're going to use here, also in the kit, you're going to see these little brass pieces here. And I'll get a little bit of a close-up here. Where they go is, if you look on top of the chrome piece here, you got the threaded parts here, is right where they go. Once again, no Loctite, no pipe dope, no nothing. Screw it on, and then in this case you will need a wrench because you can't get a socket on there. Also, the size for this is a 7/16. Make sure you install the second one. I made the mistake where I only put one on and didn't pay attention. Couldn't figure out what the other one was for. Now you're going to feel these start to get snug. Just so you know, you have to be careful with these in almost any other Kuryakyn product, because if you go too tight, this will snap. So you got those on now. From there, you got this little plastic piece here, which is actually your gasket. So what you're going to want to do is, when you're looking at this from the back side here, what you're going to want to do is your two bottom bolts here, or your bottom holes I should say, kind of look at this and kind of match those up, and that's what's going to match up the bolt pattern that you're going to need for the holes. Once you do that, you flip it over. Inside the kit they give you two different size bolts. You got your long bolts, you can see that, and then you get your short bolts. In this case, I'm using the short bolts. So what I like to do, make sure everything's lined up. I got to flip it back over here. Make sure everything is lined up. We'll be using the outer holes here with the little cut-ins into the bracket. throw either one bolt or all the bolts in. Doesn't really matter. You're eventually going to have to do it. So I'll install one for right now, and then the size on this is just a regular Allen, which is a 3/16 standard. Go ahead, get it installed. At this point, you don't have to crank it down because you got to make sure it lines up, and you got to get the other bolts in. So this. All right. It's only 3 bolts to install this backing plate onto the actual air intake. So once you get all 3 of them down, snug them all the way down. There you go. In. Just snug them down. Don't be crazy with it. Once again, there you go. So now they're all snug down. Everything looks good. Everything's in place. What you're going to need after that, just to kind of close this off, is they give you this little piece here. Going to install it. It's got this little hole. Normally what I like to do is I like to stick it towards the bottom, or you have these 2 little holes here. Line it up one of those. Put her in. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but once you get it, it is in. There you go. That's installed. So the reason why we have this, so when the air goes in nice and smooth. It's not coming up, getting sucked in, hitting a wall, and then have it close down on itself and go right back in there. So from there, you need air cleaner. Air cleaner goes right on. Luckily in my case it'll stay on. Sometimes you have to hold it. After that, you have your cage. That can pop off. There's a couple different things you can do, but for this case, we're just going to use this setup. Have that installed. And then inside the kit, it comes with these little stainless bolts here. Now and there's 5 of them that come in the kit. So what you do is you put this on, like so, over the air cleaner, and there's little thread patterns all the way around the backing plate here. And that's where these bolts go to hold this on. Size on these is once again 3/16 Allen. So there we go. It's going in. And then after you get all 5 bolts in, snug them down. Don't have to be super tight. If you want to, you can tighten them down in a star pattern. It's really not necessary, but Like I said, if you want to, you can. Okay, so it's now on, everything is on. Last couple parts here, you got the 2 hoses that come with the kit. These get connected back here with the breathers. They just push on both sides, like so, like so. Okay, so for the most part, this is all put together. Something else that they give you these little sticky pieces. One says Kuryakyn, and then you get your little skull. Let me rip these open so you can see them. Oh man. So there's your skull. You got your little thing that says Kuryakyn. So, all right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in.